All right, so this is 4.4. We're going to be doing standard form. So checkpoint 10 is our notes for this section. We've seen this before in pre-algebra, but we're also going to see it now in Algebra 1A. So what we need to do is we need to write things in standard form. Okay, so that's your AX plus BY equals C format. A couple of different things. It has to have integer coefficients. In other words, it has to have whole numbers, positive or negative, although the a value has to be positive. So no fractions, no decimals, and this a value has to be positive. Okay, I'm going to start out positive. So every time when I look through here, we're going to put the line down the equal sign, and on the far side of the equal sign, the c value is our constant number. So as I look at this, I need to move, here's my x, here's my y. I just need to move this guy over to the other side. So we're going to go add 8 to both sides. So 2x minus y equals 8. I have whole numbers or integer coefficients. My a value is positive. I'm done. Number 2, I already have my x over here on the left-hand side, but I need to have the y over there as well. So we need to put the line down the middle, and we're just moving things around. So opposite of positive 3y is minus 3y. So I end up with negative, oops, excuse me. Put my x's come first, do not combine them. So I've got x, so 2x minus 3y equals 5. Do not combine your x's and y's. Make sure you have your x's come first, then your y's, so alphabetical order. Now, number three is a little special because I have a fraction. So we can either get rid of the fraction first or we can get rid of the fraction later. Totally up to you. I prefer to get rid of it right from the very, very beginning. So I would multiply this whole thing by the denominator, which is 4. And I'm going to distribute it to every piece. So I end up with 4y equals 4 times 1 divided by 4 is going to be 4 divided by 4, which is 1x. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Now I need to move my x to the other side. So I'm going to put a little underline highlight. I need to put this guy to the other side. So I'm going to say take away 1x, take away 1x. Now I'm almost there, but I have a negative 1x plus 4y equals 8. My rule says that a must be positive. So a is not positive, so I need to multiply by him by a negative 1. Now I'm going to have positive x minus, or 1x, minus 4y equals negative 8 because it goes to every piece of the puzzle. All right, this next one, I do have a 0.6, so I'm going to multiply this thing by the point, so that's tenths. So if I multiply this by a 10, it's going to give me 10y equals negative 6x plus 90, because I multiply everything by 10. Now I can move my x across the equal sign. So I'm going to add 6x, add 6x. So I have 6x plus 10y equals 90. All right, now we're going to bump it up a notch because you know how I like to bump things up a notch. So the first set was just rearranging. So let's put a little note here. This first part was just rearrange. The next part, though, I'm giving you a point and slope, so we're going to have to put it into point slope form. So use point slope form and rearrange. Right, so my point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So this is my x1, y1. There's my slope. So y minus 3 equals 2 times x minus the x value 4. Now go ahead and distribute. And so I end up with y minus 3 equals 2x minus 8. And now I need to rearrange. I need to put my plain numbers to the left, to the right, and my x to the left. So we're going to go minus the 2x. That gets it over here. So we have negative 2x plus y minus 3 equals negative 8. Last thing we need to do is move this plain number across. So plus 3 plus 3. So negative 2x plus y equals negative 5. Not quite where I want it to be yet because I have a negative on this front number. So if I multiply everything by a negative 1, it'll switch all of the signs. So I'll end up with 2x minus y equals positive 5. All right, then let's look at that next one. I've got a point and the slope. So I'm going to say this is my x1, y1, and this is my slope of negative 4. So I'm going to have y minus 5 is equal to negative 4 times x minus 1. Then I need to do the distributive property. So y minus 5 is equal to negative 4x plus 4. If you want to move the x's across, or you can move the plain numbers across, either one, whichever you like best. Before I did the x's, here if I wanted to do the y's or the plain numbers, I would add 5 to both sides. And I'd have y is equal to negative 4x plus 9. And then just move this positive 4x, put it in front of the y. So 4x plus y is equal to 9. Right. We have one more like that, and then I'm going to bump it up a notch again. So then we'll have to do the whole find slope, pick a point, plug it in. All right. So I've really been trying to talk soft because Mr. Gloria is actually teaching right next door and the doors are all open. However, I found a little room now, so here we go. Trying to be soft and enthusiastic as I teach this. So here we have another one where we have a slope and it's a fraction, so it's a half. So this one might help you with some of those little more challenging ones, a little spicy. So I'm going to still do the same thing. This is x1, y1, and this is my slope, obviously. Okay, so y minus the y1 value 4 equals my slope negative 1/2 times x minus that negative 2. I'm going to make that big minus into a plus because negative and negative is a positive. Now I'm going to go ahead and distribute that x, or that slope to it. So I have y minus 4 equals negative 1/2 x. Negative and a positive is a negative. Half of 2 is 1. Now I want to move, I think I actually like moving my plain numbers first. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And I get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. I can simply move that across if I want to and go plus 1/2 x. So now at this point I have 1/2 x plus y is equal to 3 because those canceled. Now I have a fraction as a starting point, my a value, and it's positive, which is nice, but I need to get rid of the fraction. So let's multiply everything by 2. So we're going to have 2 halves is 1 whole. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 3 is 6. That is in standard form. All whole numbers are integers, and the leader is positive. All right, so example 8, 9, and 10 are even going to be up a notch. So this was moderate, medium, and now we're getting spicy. Spicy means 2 points. Find slope. So m equals 2 minus 8 over 3 minus 5. So I end up with negative 6 over negative 2, which gives me positive 3. So now I can say that m equals 3. Pick a point. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm going to pick 3, 2, just because it's smaller numbers and they're both positive. So y minus 2 is equal to my 3 being my slope times x minus 3 being the x value of my point. Distribute. So y minus 2 is equal to 3x minus 9. Add 2 to both sides. Y is equal to 3x minus 7. Bring that x across, so minus 3x. The problem is that my leader is now a negative. So let's multiply the whole entire thing by -1. So I end up with 3x minus 1y equals positive 7. And the last two. Try them on your own and then come back to me. As you know, I will work through them. So -1 minus 1 over 4 minus 8. -2 over -4, which gives me positive 1/2. So my slope equals 1/2. I'm going to pick the first point because they're both positive. So y minus 1 is equal to 1/2 times x minus 8. Y minus 1 is equal to 1/2 x minus 4 because half of 8 is 4. Add 1. Y equals 1/2 x plus minus. Now move that half to the other side. So I'm going to go minus 1/2 x. So negative 1/2 x plus y is equal to -3. I have to get rid of that fraction and I have to get rid of it being a negative. So now if I really wanted to like be all fancy, I could say let's make it multiply by a negative, gets rid of that negative, and multiply by 2 gets rid of the fraction. So -2 times half of -2 is 1. So 1x. -2y equals negative and negative is a positive, and I get 6. Let me scooch these guys around real quick. Keep working on that last one for me. And that one ended up being up top, I think. Yeah. There we go. And so we have the last one of that kind. We're going to do find slope. So I've got 5 minus -5 over -2 minus -4. Lots of negatives on this one. So that makes this a plus. So it's 10. This makes this a plus. So -2 plus 4 is 2, which gives me 5. So my slope equals 5. And I'm going to pick probably the lowest numbers here. So y, not really the lowest. I should say that one's closer to 0. And this one also has a positive in it. So y minus 5 equals 5 times x minus -2. Makes that a plus 2 distributed property. So y minus 5 is equal to 5x plus 10. Add 5. So y is equal to 5x plus 15. Now I have to move that x across, so minus 5x. So -5x plus 1y equals 15. It's not done yet because I have a negative leader right here. So multiply the whole thing by -1. So I end up being 5x minus 1y equals -15. That's where I'm done. So that is standard form. So point slope to standard form. We can also go from point slope to slope intercept form, which is what we've been practicing prior to this. Now we have some standard form word problems. We're going to look at it from a verbal model. The verbal model is like, first of all, this is a format ax plus by equals c. I'm going to have 2 items and a total. So 2 items and a total. Okay. So when I label my information, I'm really looking for what does the x stand for. Okay. Now keep in mind the value times the quantity. These could be mixed. You could have the value being x and the quantity being what's given. So it could be either way, All right, so it can either be, these two can be flip-flopped. If they get flip-flopped, they will be continually flip-flopped. All right, so your grandmother made 240 ounces of jelly. You have two types of jars, so that's my total ounces of jelly, right? Okay. And the total is my C. So I'm going to say C equals 240. You have two types of jars. You have 10-ounce jars and you have 12-ounce jars. Okay, so that's the value basically. That's the quantity, that's the amount it holds. But we don't know how many of them we have. So we have, I'm going to say value 1 or A is equal to 10 ounce. And value of 2 or B is going to be the 12 ounce. For any equation that represents the different types of 10-ounce and 12-ounce jars, X and Y, that could be, okay, so I've got 10 ounces per number of X of them, plus 12-ounce Y equals 240. So quantity times number of plus quantity times number of equals total. I should quantity or value, okay? So then sketch the line representing the jar combinations, complete the table of the points below. All right, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of work here. If you went ahead and put in 0 for X, so 0 here, I would have, so basically plugging in 0, so 10 times 0 plus 12y equals 240. When I solve this, I'm going to end up with 20. And then I say 10 times 6 plus 12y equals 240. And when I solve that, I get 15 for the y. Plug in a 12, 10 times 12 plus 12y equals 240. I'll end up taking away 120, and then I divide it by 12, so I end up with 10. And then I'm going to say 10 times 18 plus 12y equals 240. And I'm going to end up with 5. And 10 times 24 plus 12y equals 240. And I solve that and I get 0. So now I have a table of values to graph. I need to look over at my chart here, and I'm probably going to look at I need to see what kind of increments I need to go by. Because I need to get X needs to go all the way to 24. So X is my 10-ounce jars. Y is my 12-ounce jars. So I know at 0, 20, so I need to go all the way up to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It'll go all the way to 20. So I can say 20 is here. 0, 20. Now here, this doesn't go all the way to 24. I think it only goes to 20. So we might have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make that 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make that 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make that 30. Is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. So this one would be my y-intercept. That's this part. 24, 0. Well, if this is 20, 22, 24 would be here. I have to do some 5, so they're going to be in the middle, but 12, 10. So here's 10, here's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got that one, and that one. At 6, 2, 4, 6, I'm at 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And at 18, here's 20, so 18's here. I'm at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not going to have arrows on the end because it is a finite, because it only has a total of 240 ounces total. So it's a line, but it's actually a line segment. because anything along this line would be a solution. So I could go 10 of these and it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I would have 11. So I could do any variation along that line as solutions. So the next one, we're going to do kind of the same thing as publicity. Your class is set on getting LCs. And we're like giving some props to our local, okay? So props to the local. We're going to do LCs. If you have $30 to spend on sandwiches, that's going to be your total. It costs $2 to get a tenderloin sandwich and $1 to get a cheeseburger. So we have $2 per tenderloin and $1 per cheeseburger. So X equals tenderloins. Y equals cheeseburgers. And C is my total, and my total is $30 to spend. So AX, how much is it per tenderloin? $2. Plus, how much is it per cheeseburger? $1 equals 30. So cost of tenderloins plus number of tenderloins plus cost of cheeseburgers plus number of cheeseburgers equals total. Now I can come down here and plug in my information and solve it. So if I have 0, so I would say 2 times 0 plus 1x equals 30. That's going to give me 30. 2 times 5 is 10. Take off 10, that's going to give me 20. 2 times 8, that's 16 plus x equals 30. So it's 16, take away 16, that's going to give me 14. 2 times 10 is 20. Take away from 30 and it gives me 10. And the last one would be 2 times 15 plus x equals 30. Well, that would be 30, take away 30 would be 0, so x would be 0. So now I have to go all the way to 30 on the y. So I only know it goes up to 20 because I just did the same grid I used. So let's go every 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 be 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 is 30. And Y stands for cheeseburgers. And X is my tenderloins. So 0 tenderloins, I have 30 cheeseburgers. And this has to only to 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. So 0, give me that. 5 gives me 20. 8, 6, 7, 8. 8 gives me 10. And 15 gives me 0. You know, something doesn't look right. 10 gives me, 10 gives me 10. 8 is 14. 6, 7, 8 is 14. There's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There we go. 10 is 10. There we go. So now we're going to make a nice pretty lines. And again, it's finite because you only have $30, so it's a definitive amount. And anything along that line would be a solution to this equation. You have checkpoint 11 for standard form. There are 20 problems that are in Bloom cards. You have to have work submitted to get credit for this.